Hello, welcome to In 5 Minutes. Next is how to draw the transistor diagram. Suppose you have two lines in the notebook, then just draw a straight line, then one side, then an arrow. This makes the symbol for the transistor. This is how you can draw the transistor. Again, suppose say you have two lines of the notebook. Draw a perpendicular line, then a slant line, then again a slant line, then showing a arrow, then straight line, then straight line, then straight line. Now this becomes which type of transistor? How to identify? The arrow is always from P to N, so it is nothing but NPN transistor. Arrow is always from P to N pointing towards the N, so it is NPN transistor, right? And it is always from base to emitter, so the current flows from base to emitter in NPN. Now how to draw the PNP is, suppose you have two lines, draw a straight line, then two lines. What you want is PNP, so PNP. How to draw the arrow? Arrow is always from P to N, say suppose I am considering this, so I can draw it as like this, right? So in this case, PNP case, you need to draw the diagram in this fashion. For NPN, you need to draw in this fashion. Now how to use all type of transistors as an amplifier. Suppose say you have a common base, you can say there are two ports, this is one port and this is one port. So transistor is 3-terminal device, and how many ports? 2-port device, one input port and one output port. Now suppose you need to assume a diode over here, so whenever you get a symbol like this, just draw a diode. Now how to draw the diode? In the direction of the arrow, right? Wherever the arrow is pointing, that becomes your cathode, and wherever your diode arrow is starting, that becomes your anode. Now how to identify the junction? This is your base, this is your emitter, and this is your collector. Now to operate the transistor as an amplifier, so your junction JBE should be forward bias. So in order to forward bias, you need to connect positive of the diode to the positive terminal of the battery, negative to the negative terminal of the battery. So how you will connect the supply? You have negative terminal, you have positive terminal, and this is connected over here. Similarly, you have a diode over here. Transistor is nothing but two diodes connected back to back. Your base collector junction should be reverse bias. That means positive terminal of the diode should be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, and negative terminal should be connected to the positive terminal. So the diagram in this case will be, you have negative terminal connected to the positive terminal and the positive terminal connected to the negative terminal. So this becomes your common base. Why? You can see base is common to emitter as well as collector. Base comes in the emitter, base comes in the collector, so it is nothing but, you can see, common base configuration. Then the next, common emitter configuration. Again, 2-terminal device, as I have told you. In the direction of the arrow, draw a diode. The other diode will come over here. This becomes your base, this becomes your emitter, and this becomes your collector. Junction JBE should be forward biased or reverse biased. In order to operate the transistor as an amplifier, JBE should be forward biased. That means the positive terminal of the diode should be connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Negative terminal should be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Similarly, collector terminal, you need to reverse bias this junction. So in this case, collector should be connected to the positive terminal and other to the negative terminal. Since emitter is common to both base and collector, you can call this as voltage between collector and emitter, voltage between base and emitter. This is voltage between collector and base, this is voltage between emitter and base.